So everyone's IC is different, but it really forms an anchor in someone's life, and you can see how it behaves. So this is now based on that, on how I'm motivating, whether it's lustily, angrily, competitively, or nobly, or competitively. The only teams I ever really felt I belonged with, or groups I ever felt I belonged with, was when I was a kid playing baseball or football. But as an adult, still doing it, where do I fit in, where I don't? Everybody wants to be appreciated, everyone wants to be paid. I don't fit in. I want more than people are prepared to give. Doesn't matter, I still put the energy out. Anyways, this is part of my motivational mechanism. There's no bad aspects to the planet, to any planets. There are over here. You can see it from the IC. There's no aspect, just that conjunction to Venus. And then when we get to the ascendant, the aspects are to the ascendant. Really, the last one should have had the aspects to the opposition to the midheaven and the square to the ascendant. Let's just go back again a minute. When we looked at the IC was conjunct to Venus, but that opposes the midheaven. So whenever I build up something career, I often spend more money building up the career than is practical to make it the aesthetic that I want it to be. I'm content when it's beautiful enough, but making it that beautiful enough doesn't always pay off or make money. Some of the greatest successes I have been my greatest losses, and some of the greatest benefits I've gotten are invisible to others. Okay, so we go down to the ascendant. This was 1 second. There's the ascendant. Okay, so from the ascendant, again, there's no aspects to my ascendant. There's a square to Venus. That's the only one. And it squares the midheaven IC. So the identity has a stressful relationship with my integrity and with my Venus. Usually it's the cost of things, the need for appreciation, need for values. That Venus, which is in Sag, in the 4th house, I've lived in a library full of knowledge and mystical things for 30 years. I really loved that environment, but it took a certain amount of pressure to maintain it. And it was great having that around. It was difficult for other people to come in and be in it. But so, I mean, most people, it's natural to have your ascendant square your midheaven. I see, although many people, as they get north, they get more extended houses, and the ascendant can move out of that normal square. Okay, so I wouldn't make too much out of that. Just perhaps when I get too comfortable or I'm too enjoyable, it perhaps causes stress on my image. It shows. And I project it out. And perhaps in projecting it, I'm not always sensitive to other people who aren't so content. Okay. When you get to the midheaven, here, the midheaven's up in Taurus. It's ruled by the Venus way down below, which it opposes. Midheaven opposes Venus. And the IC, of course, and squares the ascendant. So really, it's the opposed Venus. I worked so hard. I've done many accomplishments that had the style of Taurus, but they don't make money. You know, they weren't viable for making money, but they were, for me, expressions or completions of emotional and artistic concepts that I got motivated to express until I completed them, like the colored chart work that I do, those charts. To me, they've been incredible, but it's not where astrology, most astrology is, they'll use the color. And when I want something, I push it to see how far I get it up there. By the time I get out there, it's costing much more than perhaps I can afford, and then I have to scramble to pay off the debts or pay off things that happen. So in a relationship, when I want something, I may be pushing for what I want, and I may be trying to make it happen. But the stress involved in this may not be what the other persons around me want, and then maybe stress accumulates because of that. So we have the MC. We've done all these sheets. So like I said, this is going through each of the categories: the planets and the signs, planets and the houses, the IC and the signs, and the IC aspects. So now, mine's not a very good example. I don't have too many aspects, but it's the example that is. We're just going through parts of one chart. And the descendant, again, the descendant, like the ascendant, makes no aspects. It only squares the Venus. So, and squares the midheaven and the IC and the angles. But the square to Venus can make some vanity. It can make for difficult choices or questionable choices. And I 3 divorces, what can I say? There's been some questionable choices. Or sometimes they seem really good and then they seem really bad. And it went like that. And I can see my parts of it. See, you attract the circumstances in your chart. You have a planet, you have a certain setup in your chart. There's a tendency to attract that. And for things, of all the things that can happen out in the world, often you attract the things that are in your chart or have to work to transform them as they do. But stress and struggle and tension, it's the nature of life. Nothing would change if there weren't stress and challenges. And everything is always changing. So you can be sure there's always going to be change. There's always going to be one form of stress or another. You know, you can put out energy and you can take it back. You have stress from doing too much. You can have stress from doing too little. It's a funny balance. So anyways, we're going to look at each of the angles, and then when something really stands out, it will stand out in that person's life. And that's almost the end of it, except that we have to do the signs and the house cusps. And we don't really have, there are specific worksheets for this, and you'll need 12 of them, one for each of the house cusps. You've already kind of done the ascendant, midheaven, IC, descendant, but you can either repeat or add something else in there, but it's important to get the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 8th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th houses done. So you see, you're taking the meaning of the house. Say if it were the second house, my second house is in Virgo. Nighttime is increasing. So when it comes to money, I'm more spending it I'll spend things because it means something more to you, because it's a bigger commitment, because I don't necessarily have to spend things for myself. Okay. Daylight is greater. I mean freedom. So when it comes to spending money, don't tell me how to spend it. I'm trying to do it with you in consideration, but I'm still, spending it or using it. Darkness increasing, daylight is greater. Movement towards responsibility, wanting more independence. Around money matters. Around financial matters, around talents. Feminine is reflective, more judgmental than projective. Mutable, changeable. My attitude to money changes here or there. Oops. And then it's an earth. It's earth because I'm a little bit practical around. I need to have this, need to get that. When I need something, it comes. Like